As I'm sure most of you have heard by now, Trump has just been diagnosed with a chronic illness. And so I found this article here by ABC News about this diagnosis that Trump received. And yeah, because there have been actually images going around for a while, and people have been speculating for a while that he might be suffering from some kind of illness or something, because there's been a lot of pictures about of like his skin looking weird, and like his ankles looking weird, and even some where people thought that he might have like a decatheter or something, right? Where he was peeing through like a tube or something. Some people think he might even be wearing diapers now and shit. There's a lot of speculation about this guy's health condition and health problems and stuff. But let's read this article here by ABC News. And the headline reads, "What is chronic venous insufficiency? Everything to know about Trump's diagnosis." The president was diagnosed after experiencing mild swelling in his legs. So this is from July 17th, and here, let's read the article. President Donald Trump has been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, the White House announced on Thursday. Interesting that they announced it, but more on that later. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt shared a letter from Trump's physician in a news conference, which said Trump was examined after he noted mild swelling in his legs. Leavitt said the physician described the condition as benign and common, particularly among adults above age 70. Leavitt added that the president is in excellent health and that the doctor's full letter would be released soon. Here's what you need to know about the condition, what symptoms it causes, and how it's treated. What is chronic venous insufficiency? Chronic venous insufficiency, CVI, is a circulatory condition in which the veins in the leg have difficulty returning blood back to the heart due to damaged valves. Quote, "Unlike the arteries, the veins have valves that help return blood to the heart." Dr. Andrea Obi, vascular surgeon at University of Michigan Health Frankel Cardiovascular Center and associate professor of vascular surgery at University of Michigan Medical School, told ABC News. She explained that there are larger veins called deep veins, which return the bulk of blood to the heart. And there are superficial veins, which are just under the skin surface. When the valves fail, meaning they don't adequately return blood to the heart, the blood can back up into the leg. And that's essentially what venous insufficiency is, Obi said. This can cause blood to pool in the legs and lead to leg swelling. CVI is fairly common, affecting up to 40% of the U.S. population, according to the Society for Vascular Surgery. Obi said this figure may be an underestimation because CVI is not detected on any routine screening tests, and patients often require a duplex ultrasound, a non invasive imaging technique, to assess blood flow and blood vessel structure for diagnosis. What are the symptoms? Obi said most CVI patients have mild symptoms, and the most common manifestation The most common manifestation is varicose veins, which occur when the blood pools into the superficial veins just under the skin. The veins become swollen, which can be which can be heavy, uncomfortable, or painful for patients. If patients have CVI in the deeper veins, they may experience leg swelling around the ankle area and it can extend up toward the knee, OB said. In more severe cases, darkening of the skin can occur and an open sore or ulcer could develop. When the blood pools down near the ankle level, you'll get discoloration, and it's a brown discoloration. And that brown discoloration is the result of the iron from the red blood cells that sort of pools there and gets picked up by your immune cells, Obi said. Over time, this can make the skin thick and unable to heal from minor trauma, which is when ulcers form, she said. How is it treated? Treatments are typically non surgical and are mainly to prevent swelling and ulcers from forming, according to the Society for Vascular Surgery. Obi said if a patient is found to have CVI incidentally and they don't have symptoms, there is no need for treatment unless symptoms arise. First line treatment can include compression, such as wearing compression stockings or an elastic strap. There are also supplements patients can take to relieve symptoms, OB said. Compression is the very first thing that you prescribe, and then generally, if a patient desires surgical intervention or something like that, you would try compression first to see if they get relief. She said if they're still symptomatic or not able to live their daily life, then you might proceed down the pathway of doing an intervention to try and help them improve their quality of life. So I wanted to go back to this part real quick. It says in more severe cases, darkening of the skin can occur and an open sore or ulcer could develop. So I've seen some images of Trump's skin and it looks fucking weird, bro. It looks dark and brown and shit, but it also looks like fucking like thick. Like it looks thick and like cracked up and shit. It looks really fucking strange. But but I would definitely say it looked thick and dark in those pictures. Especially like his hands looked that way, which was really strange. But people have been saying for a while that he looks like he's sick, and this just makes me think of those pictures that I've already seen of him like that. And look, it's really interesting that the White House themselves are actually admitting to this, right? Like, usually when Trump has, a problem, like with just in general, right? They always like to deny and obfuscate, right? It, Anytime Donald Trump fucks up or anytime something happens to him or whatever, they always like to pretend that everything's going just fine and everything. So, what this tells me is one of two things, right? One of two things. Either they had to admit to it because it was so obvious and everybody could tell that Donald Trump is sick, and they had to admit to it because there was no way they could keep hiding it, or um well, actually I can think of three things. The second one is that they're trying to garner sympathy for him because of everything going on with the Epstein files and him fucking up the economy and shit. And they're trying to, garner some sympathy for him and be like, "Oh, but he's sick. Don't you pity this poor pathetic thing? Oh, pity him." Right? And then the other one is the last thing I can think of is this is them realizing how fucking screwed they are with the Epstein stuff and with all of the controversy uh, in the administration right now. And this is them trying to find an exit strategy for Donald Trump because they think, oh, if he's sick, we can, invoke the 28th Amendment or something. We can, you know, we can get him to step down and then have JD Vance take over, whatever, right? And and so I think this is potentially also them trying to find an exit strategy so they can, come up with an excuse as to why Donald Trump is stepping down. Kind of like, how Joe Biden, after everybody realized that his brain was fucking cooked basically and that, he was struggling to even form complete sentences anymore and couldn't even debate. Like how after that he had to drop out of the race and Kamala Harris took over, something similar to that, right? Where it's like, oh, he has to step aside for medical reasons. And so I think that's definitely a possibility here. So I don't know. I don't know. I just find it really interesting that they're admitting to it because normally they wouldn't. Normally they would try to, do the whole North Korean thing. You know how in North Korea they like to pretend that their supreme leader is this fucking immortal god king that never gets sick, doesn't even need to shit, right? And that's basically what they've been doing with Donald Trump. These maggots, right? They've been worshiping at his altar. They've been putting him on a fucking pedestal and pretending like he's the most perfect man in the world. And he's so fucking smart and he's perfect and he's so strong. And they basically try to project every good attribute that they can think of onto him, even though he embodies literally none of those things, right? But still, they want to believe in it, so they work backwards from their conclusions. And usually, as part of that, is they just deny everything. They deny every mistake or every error or every imperfection that Donald Trump may have. And so that's why I found this so interesting that they found it necessary to admit that Donald Trump is sick, and that's really really interesting. So yeah, who knows?
Hey everyone, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can make this channel grow. This has been Revolution Television, where the revolution is televised. Peace.